An update on a story we first told you about in February. You may remember the District Attorney Anita Reynolds called a news conference to announce the release of 63 Bibb County jail inmates. She said they were all accused of at least one felony, and after a review by her office, they were being released or that their cases would be, quote, disposed.
We look at each individual case, the set of circumstances of the case, what's going on with the defendant, as well as contacting the victims. And we are, we are doing the work.
Since then, 13 WMAZ has been asking questions. We wanted to know who was released, what crimes they were accused of, and how each case was settled. But thus far, as Ashlyn Webb tells us, we have received few answers. Ashlyn joins us now live.
Good evening, Frank. Shortly after that February 25th press conference, we filed an open records request on the DA's files on those cases. Under state law, the public has the right to know the outcome of these criminal cases. And over a month later, the district attorney's office still has not provided us those records. District Attorney Anita Reynolds says her team started with a list of 794 Bibb County inmates. So far, they're about 2/3 down that list, and Howard says they've been able to release 63 inmates from the county jail and counting. 13 WMAZ requested the case files of those 63 people that DA Anita Reynolds cited in that news conference, but her office denied the request. In an email from an assistant district attorney, they claimed all of the records were exempt from disclosure because they may contain sensitive victim information, as well as medical information that would violate HIPAA. That's the federal privacy law that protects your personal medical records. They also claimed the records could not be released because they were pending prosecution, although Howard herself stated in that news conference that the cases were disposed or resolved.
The category kind of is who was released from Bibb County LEC, but some of those individuals were guilty pleas. They actually, because of their sentence, would go to the Department of Corrections. Some are out on bond. Some cases were evaluated and the cases were dismissed. As I said, some folks end up going to Central State.
Howard's office also argued they didn't have to grant the request because they had no list of the 63 people.
This is ridiculous. This again goes to the heart of why we must understand who's in jail and who's being released. It's the most basic trust in our institutions.
Richard Griffiths is the spokesperson and former president of the Georgia First Amendment Foundation. His organization advocates for government transparency and access to public information. And he says these records are of public interest.
To see this most basic information being thwarted, to me, is a big red flag. And it tells me that there's perhaps more to the story.
And after a month of back and forth, they now say they intend to give us those records, but for nearly a $3,000 cost and an additional 30 to 45 days to put together. We'll keep you updated on the progress and what we learn in those records. Reporting live in Macon, Ashlyn Webb, 13 WMAZ News.
Thank you, Ashlyn. The Bibb County District Attorney's Office sent a statement to 13 WMAZ this afternoon saying, quote, "This office is working to respond to that request within the bounds allowed by law. We will always be accountable, transparent, and responsible to this community."